Hey, thanks for listening to Dragon Wagon Radio. If you're enjoying this show, check out DragonWagonShop.com and get yourself some sweet merch while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. That's DragonWagonShop.com.
Hello and welcome to Koicast, a podcast where I, Koijandro, a Bostonian who loves pop culture, comic books, and many, many people, maybe all people, have hope, but most I really enjoy, discuss all of the above, and we dive into things we love, and it is the Holly Jolly season. It is, in fact, 2 days after the Holly Jolliest, as of you hearing this. How was your theoretical Christmas, Jake?
I'm sure it was delightful. Yeah, obviously, listeners, Coy and I took off for the end of year. So we're recording this earlier in the month. We didn't want to leave you with nothing on the scheduled day in the feed. So today, on this very special episode, we're going to take a look back at two of our favorite Hotline games of 2023.
And I most enjoyed that Jake was like, let's make sure we do a good intro, and then he didn't know what I was going to say, so his confusion for that opening right there when I was like,
get it. Listen,
it's
I know.
Christmas.
I get it. I mean, listen.
Nice. It was nice.
I just like to pull back the curtain every now. I don't like to lie to the people. I don't want to say I had a nice
No.
Christmas.
It was,
for all I know, this is going to be it's going to be terrible. I don't know what's going to happen. Right.
And then you'd have to like retroactively
right.
every podcast say how great it was.
Or like in the next episode of Record when we come back from the new year, I'm going to tell a story about how so 4 days before Christmas, this horrible I was shot and mugged, and then they're gonna be like, "Wow, he seemed to not mind it."
He got over that so quickly.
2 days
and then
after
he got really
Christmas.
upset later.
It
I
must
guess
have been
shock
a delayed.
had finally worn off.
Listen, we all deal with trauma in different ways.
It's very cold there. You know, the shock lasted longer than we expected.
Do you have Christmas plans?
So I do Christmas in January
Yes,
because
right,
the movie industry, like Christmas Day is a big movie day,
Yeah.
and my mom works in a movie theater, as you guys know, Koicast, longtime Koicast listeners know. So we just basically agreed that we could rush, pay more for flights, and have the stress of Christmas on the day that someone decided, or as an agnostic family, choose to do it later.
Right.
So we do a January, and it's great because then I get a quiet LA.
Yeah.
I get a longer Christmas season, and then right as everyone's stressing coming back, I get the fuck out.
Also, let's not punch this gift horse in the mouth, so to speak. It's also way cheaper flights come January.
It's like a third the price.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna go
insane.
when it's like the regular ass or even discounted
Right.
just after the holiday price to fly.
Yep.
My girlfriend and I are going east like the second week of January, and it was $400 each flight cheaper.
Wow, that's crazy.
So like that's $1,000.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So I'm really excited. So we're doing Christmas in January, but then like the week leading up to the actual holiday, we have a bunch of like fun planned LA stuff, so I don't get that FOMO because it does.
Right.
The only hard part is seeing all the photos of real time Christmas happening and feeling like it almost feels like the pandemic where you're like, I remember happiness, and then you have to remind yourself like, no, you just moved yours for logic.
Yeah, I can understand that. There's definitely like a bittersweetness that comes with the holiday seasons, depending on what's happening in your life. You know?
Yeah,
because we put too much. Movies have ruined. They've put too much pressure on the holiday.
Not if you watch Shane Black Christmas movies; those are accurate.
I actually think what you're doing is good though, because what happens is you get all the anticipation of the holiday, but then you get to hear how miserable everybody's holiday were, and then you get to go.
Mine peaks,
and then you get to go like, oh, really? Because mine's gonna be great in 2 weeks. Sucks for you.
And then I come right back to work, as opposed to that weird middle week where you're like, I did the Christmas, and
like,
now
shit,
we're just waiting.
Now I have to wait for the clocks to change, or the calendar
Yeah.
to
I was
change.
just like, I guess when do the offices open back up so I can do my job?
Right.
Like it's a weird. LA closes for longer than it feels natural every year.
Right.
So I'm excited. We're doing like I don't know if you've ever been to Descanso Garden. Doing that soon.
No,
It's like this beautiful like light ceremony. There's this giant garden in Pasadena.
Where? Pasadena, got it.
Yeah, and then at the month of Halloween, they light it all up like huge, like acres and acres and acres of Christmas lights.
Fun.
So basically, you give a donation and you get to walk around this garden and you help fund the garden opening all year.
Right. Nice.
So
Yeah,
it's a
that's
really cool thing. And it's all like holly jolly and like a few of those traditions and like I'm gonna try to do more LA stuff, like
Right.
screenings, and catch more like, I every year I try to remember why I pay for that comma in my rent, and now I'm doing that with a little Christmas flair.
There is in fact, speaking of bittersweet, like, my holiday is interesting because we're going to be here in the Northeast. It looks like
First time in a long time.
New Year's Eve is the big night for my family in New York here. And so we'll have that. And then New Year's Day, we might split between a few spots,
Cool.
but it's really, really fun to have this experience we haven't been able to have. Specifically me, I haven't been in New York in 20 years. My last holiday here was the holiday season of 2004. So it's nearly 20 years since I've had a holiday season here. So that's nice. But also, you kind of mourn the traditions that we've built over the past, for me, 15 years in LA, and Alexandra and I 7 years together. Like we've built all these traditions. They're like, oh, and I could do that. Speaking of, there's a drive in Pasadena. Let's see if I can come up with a name. Pasadena Christmas Light Drive.
Is it Candy Cane Lane?
Is that what it's called? It's just like essentially there's this drive where like all the houses participate, and it's like this big long hill, and every single house participates, and there's also like a complete arc that covers the street, and it's just like I remember we took a campfire there a couple years ago, and it was like the whole car was lit up, and he was like, what the fuck is happening? And so we did the drive down, parked, and then did a walk up and down it.
Yeah,
and
I think we're talking about the same
nice.
thing, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it might be, Christmas Tree Lane, maybe. I don't know. But it is Pasadena. Oh, that's Christmas Tree Lane is in Altadena. Annual tradition of the city of Altadena, north of Pasadena, which is, I think this is it. I think this is the one I'm thinking of. I think you are correct.
And one of those houses has this incredible museum of train engines, like those ones that go around the tree, but from the last 100 years.
Right. Yep. 100%.
So we're talking about the same one. I love going there.
Yeah, that's a fun thing to do. It is nice though. Again, we're splitting. It's hard to be like, oh, where are you? Because we're just splitting so much time, so many different places currently. So when I say here, I tend to just mean the New York area amongst the families that we're, but when we're specifically on the Gold Coast of Long Island, just outside of the city, it's like very much like holiday town suburbia, where like even at Thanksgiving people went ape shit, like as far as like and it's like
I'm jealous of.
We're
You're not
very
only gonna
excited.
Get the visuals, but whoa.
Yeah, it's been we were talking a little bit about the weather before we started recording, like a bunch of old yokels, but we were talking about how it has been kind of like rainy and sleety here versus like nice and just cold, like winter cold. It's been actually wet, which we don't like. Once it stops being wet, we're really looking forward to just like taking a drive one night, just like around, do that thing. We just like, let's just take a drive around the neighborhood and just watch all the lights. So that'll be fun. We're excited about that.
Also, for the record, the sentence that you're in the greater New York area with all the family is the most New York you've ever sounded, or the most Italian.
Listen, we don't really have to talk. We don't got to talk about what
with
we're
all
talking
the families. We're out here in New York with all the families.
You know what I'm talking about. We got Timmy.
Jack had to go back east for some family business. He's got to figure it out over the holidays.
Got to take care of some family business. We got to make sure that Tommy Two Shoes doesn't lose his third one. You know what I'm talking about.
All I'm saying is some limbs on the tree got to get trimmed before he comes back west, and it's getting taken care of.
Listen, when we did a lot of my family history, it was pretty clear that I had some blood ties to the mob. Like,
it's
pretty
the best
clear.
when you go back far enough, because this country is all founded on crime. So it's like finding those branches, being like, all right.
Well, anyways, we hope that our listeners are having a great holiday season. Do you want to go take a trip down 2023 memory lane real quick?
I would love that, but I want to remind people, if you've heard the end of this episode, we are announcing the MCU Chump winner.
Thank you very much.
Who stumped this chump? So we're going to announce that at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And also remember, if you were not here, we are going to be coming back with our Letterboxd episode that we love doing the stats
2023.
on. And we're going to be, whoever won, I believe, last week's December, which was Harold Stokes. When we come back, we'll be announcing our January gift horse. So there's going to be a lot of watching.
We literally
pay attention.
Also, like 3 consecutive episodes where we're just giving shit away. We're just Santa Claus.
It is the season. So yeah,
We're
keep an eye out for the chump at the end of this episode. I'm the chump. Keep an eye out for who stumped this chump at the end of the episode. And then we'll be back next time with our favorite, or at least one of my favorites. I love the letterbox step. So stay tuned there. But first, Jake, what are we getting into?
Yeah, so
this ep?
the first Hotline game that we're going to revisit here came from Jared in Louisiana. This was from May 10th of 2023. Let's see what Jared had for us in May of 2023.
Good, whatever time of day it is for you, Coy, producer Jake. I was inspired in some fashion by the last call. It inspired me to come up with, I guess, my own little game that I think you both enjoy participating in. It involves the rogues of the Big Two, Marvel DC, specifically the rogues, none with powers of telepathy, because in this game I have, it will be cheating. It is essentially a 5-on-5 classic game show style pop culture trivia game. Think of Family Feud, but strictly rogues. Now, in this case, it'll probably be Marvel vs. DC, because that just fits. So yes, strictly rogues, no telepaths, 5-on-5, pop culture trivia. Stay sweaty. Love the show. This is Jared from Louisiana. This is going to be a good game.
Jared from Louisiana.
All right, so pop culture trivia.
All right, so
no telepaths.
There's no telepaths. This is really tough, though. What do you consider a rogue?
See, I'm going to use one that people are going to be mad at because it's kind of cheating, but he started as a rogue. He was an anti-hero. I think Deadpool is MVP.
But
pop
what?
culture.
So what is that? Yeah, but so is a rogue just a villain?
Technically.
Or is it a specific type? Like, I'm too much of a D&D nerd to be like, a rogue is a type of...
I think rogue is just a rogues gallery, a villain.
That's what I was thinking. Like, the rogue... And when I think of the
guys.
rogues gallery, I really only think of the two.
Flash
in my
and Batman?
opinion. No, I was going to say Spider-Man and Batman are the
Oh,
two
well, Flash
rogues.
literally calls as the rogues gallery.
Right.
Like, Flash is like labeled them that. That's why it's
I
like
couldn't even name a Flash villain.
Yellow Flash.
Other Flashes. Yeah. They're all just...
Speed Force wielders.
They're all just like Flash Boy.
Grodd?
All right, so are we going versus each other? I guess so.
Yeah.
All right, Deadpool, pop culture, junkie. Well, if you're gonna do Deadpool, then I gotta go.
You can go anti-hero.
But wait, yeah, that's to say it's gotta be villains. I can't think of any villains that I think would care about pop culture other than Deadpool, because all I can think of is heroes. Because the heroes are the quick talking, snappy comedy people.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna go Doc Ock. He's a writer, married to a writer. He's the arts, the culture. Maybe not like, who was on Friends in an episode.
Right.
But when it gets into like literature,
some Monet paintings and shit.
He's gonna be
all right, I'm into that. Oh man, this is hard.
It's so hard to think of. Oh, I got one.
Brainiac. He's gonna be plugged into the entire internet.
Is he a
He's
rogue?
gonna know. He's Brainiac.
He's one of the big bads, though.
Yeah.
I didn't see.
Rogue is anyone villainous.
See, this is Jared. You need to be more specific with your
a
definitions.
bad guy.
Because I think of a rogue specifically as like a lower level, like not like I wouldn't. Kingpin isn't a rogue in my opinion because he's
the
at the
definition
top.
of rogue. I think it's just bad.
All right, I'm going with your rules, but
just
it's
go
bullshit.
bad guys.
So you're going Brainiac?
Yeah.
All right, I am. Who the fuck did I have? I had a great idea. Now you made me lose it. Oh,
a
Riddler.
dishonest or unprincipled person.
Riddler.
I'd say he is.
I'm going Riddler.
Ooh, genius move.
Because
nice pull.
you know that he has to
be versed on the quizzes.
Yeah, exactly.
Genius. Nice pull.
By the way, he said that this was like a game show. I'm imagining this as like pub quiz style.
Oh, 100%.
I'm imagining this.
They're at the bar with no name.
Yes, they're at the bar with no name, and this is just a pub quiz.
Yeah.
And it's like they both come up with a shitty team name.
Love it.
Yeah, this is constantly back and forth.
In that exact vein, I'm going Shocker because I feel like he plays a lot of bar games and like would gather up that data. And maybe he's dumb in life, but he's great at pop culture.
All right, okay. I mean, if that's the case, then I gotta go Harley.
Good call.
Right? Because Harley's
Solid.
very plugged in,
Yeah.
modern, youthful.
No, that's a solid one.
Yeah, I gotta go Harley.
Mysterio, because he'd have to know pop culture in order to pull it. He'd have to like be versed in it to make the images of it. And he's a director. He's a film guy. He knows his work.
He was going to be irritating as shit to have on
guaranteed.
your team.
I don't love it.
Deadpool's gonna kill him. He's gonna crack that fishbowl open so many times.
Worth it.
But
he knows like weird like pre-Kubrick existential films and like French New Wave.
Shit. All right. Who else would be considered a rogue that I think would be?
See, if we narrowed it down anymore, it's even harder. That's why I'm saying rogue is bad guy.
I know, just a villain, just any villain who knows things. I'm trying to think of like more on the lines of Harley, people who are like young and plugged in.
Yeah.
And kind of oh, you know what? I'm gonna go Selena Kyle. I'm gonna keep with my Bat Rogues. I literally have 3 of the Bat Rogues, but because I think they're all like, she is similar to Harley in the sense where she's probably in on like modern fashion. She probably, because she probably reads the trades to see what pop star is wearing what famous jewels at the Met Gala.
To track them.
Like, she's probably plugged into pop culture in ways that we might be surprised.
Plus, she is played by Anne Hathaway, who is also in Oceans, so she's just in it. And that has Julia Roberts as herself.
So I'm going Catwoman.
Is that your last one, or is that your 4th?
That was 4th. This is your 5th one. We
My
both have
final one, I just realized the perfect answer.
Who's the perfect answer?
Mojo.
God damn it. Oh, Mojo's the fucking best answer.
Yes, Mr. Pop Culture villain himself.
He's not gonna be able to fit into the fucking.
It's okay. He's gonna fit in the bar through the back door. Mojo.
Well, shit.
I'm very proud of that.
I got you beat. We're going any villain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said no telepath.
Okay.
That was the rule, right?
Yeah.
Not no being who may or may not have been plugged into all human intelligence at some point, Ultron.
Oh, that's good. I would say Ultron
literally knows everything there is to know.
Are parallel.
I don't know.
Way.
I don't know. I don't think Brainiac
can plug into the internet immediately.
But I don't know. I think that he's got gaps. Brainiac is going to have gaps. Brainiac is not going to know who won the first season of The Bachelor. All right. Okay.
Read that through and we'll let people vote. Let's see who wins.
All right. It's what's the name of your team?
I'm going to go with the Mouthy Mercs.
We're going to be Pop Couture.
Oh, nice.
Harley named it.
Yep. No, Deadpool definitely named mine because nobody had shut him up.
Pop Couture and the Mouthy Mercs.
Yep.
You're not even that mouthy.
I mean, it's Deadpool.
And none of them are Mercs except for him. Okay.
You think Deadpool's going to let anybody else name that team?
It's Deadpool, second person whose name, Brainiac, Shocker, Mysterio, and Mojo. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, tell me that I'm the Marvel shill. Doc versus Pop Couture. Doc Ock, Riddler, Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Ultron.
That's great.
What a fun one. I gotta say, we do these games, these hotline games, and we pin teams to one another, and then we always ask the listeners to let us know who you think would win and why, and we rarely get to revisit that
especially
on the
with
air.
The answer and months later.
Yeah, so the problem is that we have the conversation on Discord. So by the way, this is a plug for Discord. If you're not in the Discord, get into Discord. You can find the link for it at koicast.com. It's completely free, has nothing to do with the Patreon. It's just a great, awesome community where you can chat about all the things. But yeah, we tend to have the conversations in the Discord, rather. The gift cord?
The gift cord. That's what the last few months have been.
Easy for me to say. And then we never revisit it on air. We need to, somebody out there listening, remind us, say, hey, some point in 2024, we should do an episode where we figure out who the winners were for all the games we've ever done.
I love that idea.
Because we've never decided on air who actually wins.
The real winner is.
No, because Akoi and I will just fight over why we're the winners, and we'll never agree. We'll be like those two kids who play lasers, but go well, I had a shield. Well, I had a shield. No, you didn't. Yeah.
The problem is all year we're each our own winner, and there is no winner because we won to ourselves.
Yes, 100%. That's why we need.
That said, the Discord is a lively place, so definitely get on over there because it is always a good time.
Koi and I, we get a lot of feedback from reviews online and stuff about how hey, when they disagree, it's always fair, it's always kind. It does, but there are some things that we'll never agree on. For example, all of my teams are always better than all of Koi teams, and that's just the way that it is.
It's just we both love X-Men, but I obviously love X-Men more.
Hey, speaking of communication with the listeners, before we go to revisit our favorite hotline game of the year, Koi, I'm throwing this on you. Koi didn't know I was going to do this. I forgot I was going to do this until just now. I recently discovered, because I do a lot of work for all the shows. I'm doing my best here, but I'm a one-man band, that we got our, you know how Spotify does like Spotify Wrapped for the listeners and shit like that?
Yeah, I shared all the one. A lot of people put us in their top 5.
Yeah. Well, there's also a Spotify Wrapped for podcasters that give us information about
shit.
And I did not realize that every episode of KoiCast that goes out on Spotify puts an automatic Q&A on it. And the default Q&A is just, what did you think about this episode? But we can technically go in and just create a Q&A. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to remember to do that or have the time to do that for every episode. But you can apparently just leave comments on episodes on Spotify. And I didn't know that.
Hey.
And there aren't a ton of them, but there are a few. And I thought, hey, let's see, right? Let's see like what people have said. So I did not plan this. This is very funny. Shit, I'm making myself laugh here. So the first comment that I saw was for the episode where we talked about the changes to the show because of me coming to the East Coast. And it comes from someone named Travis Murray 3 months ago. And it's clearly from us talking about our DC Cards game where we had to leave a review on Apple. And Travis Murray on Spotify says, hey, what about the people that listen to you on Spotify and don't have Apple Podcasts for the DC cards? I'm a huge DC fan. I feel like I know more of those characters than Koi does. And then he leaves smiley faces and he says, love you guys, heart.
Listen, I love that.
Listen, Travis, while I understand not everybody has, Apple Podcasts or listen to Apple Podcasts, you can very easily just quickly install iTunes and leave a review for the show. It's annoying. I know, but we don't get to see the reviews. We'd have no idea. When you leave a review or a rating rather on Spotify, and even if you rate it 5 stars, Spotify doesn't tell us that. We have no way to know.
Yeah, we have no inclination to.
We have the amount of people, but we don't have any names. So I apologize. I understand that seems unfair to the Spotify users. We love you, Travis Murray. We love all of our listeners on Spotify, and we apologize. Let's see what else. Who else responded to stuff on Spotify here? We've got one that this was from Fiance is the Way, which of course was the second episode that Koi was not on, because he missed a recording day
he did
in July.
I'll never escape that legacy.
Never. And this one, let's see. Somebody wrote on Fiance is the Way. Come on, I clicked away from it accidentally. What did they write? They wrote, this one was from Ricky. It says, this was a fun episode and I really enjoyed Alexandra as guest host. And then they gave the little okay sign. Thank you so much, Ricky. I also enjoyed Alexandra as guest host. And I look forward to starting Alexandra Cast, or as I think Gilbert called it, Hoycast.
Excellent work.
When Koi inevitably just forgets to show up for every single recording.
I think once a year I should just, I'm not planning it because it'll happen without me planning it. It's coming. Hoycast 2 is coming.
Let's see. Do we have anything
It'll be
else?
like First Blood Part 2. It'll be like, well, that's a weird title, but it makes sense.
This one is just, listen, they're not always questions. It's just comments. Eric Walter just wrote, awesome show. This was from June's Nerd Cup Overflows. In an episode in June where I think we just talked about all of the great stuff that happened in June 2023. We also talked about, we had a fun hotline game that was actually in the running for today's episode of favorite things, where they said, hey, people asked about our favorite super bling. What's like superhero?
Oh yeah,
like,
that was a really fun one.
So thanks for that comment there as well. Let's see, do we have any here? That might be the last of the ones that popped up. Again, it doesn't do a great...
I've never commented on Spotify before. This is new to me.
Yeah, again, and honestly, this is pulling the curtains back a little bit. Of course, it's like all of Dragon Wagon Network shows are all under the Dragon Wagon banner. They're all under Dragon Wagon as a network on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So you can actually click through and see all the shows that are related. Like it is a truly a network. It's not just something we put the name on. It is a distribution network that I have. And all of the emails for all the stuff all comes through the Dragon Wagon email. It doesn't differentiate. It doesn't send stuff to the KoiCast email or
right. So you're looking through literally all of
or the email for Palskis or High School Never Ends or any of the shows, So a lot
That's
of times,
cool. I love that exists.
a lot of times I'm just not seeing it, but I'll try to keep my eye on this more in 2024 so we can we can just respond to
Give
some people.
Spotify listeners some
and if,
love.
Yeah,
All right,
and
well,
if you're a Spotify listener, we'll try to get back to you.
I know we've got a mega
We do.
favorite moment from 2023 as we head into 2024.
This one was a special gift for me, to be honest with you. This came from my birthday episode, March 15th.
Oh,
It was a gift given to me by Jacob from Mississippi. It sort of blended one of my favorite comedy movies, which I loved, with comic books. And I'm just going to tell you, it got a little out of hand.
it's a lot. It's a big one. It's definitely us at our nerdiest.
We were asked a very simple question and provided far too much than was necessary. And honestly, I regret nothing.
No notes.
So let's see what Jacob had for us here. Back from March 15th, 2023.
Hey, Coy. Hey, Jake. Jacob from Mississippi. Got a very important question. Very important. Okay? Fate of the world. DC versus Marvel. Dodgeball. Okay? I don't necessarily know how the dodgeball works, but maybe 5v5, 6v6. Your team, DC versus Marvel. Who wins? For you guys, X-Men included. Fate of the world. Thank you.
Jacob.
So, that is
All
a
right.
big one.
All right, so this is very fitting because Dodgeball is one of my favorite movies, my favorite comedies. It's probably in the very short list of movies I've seen more than any other movie.
Damn.
Because I used to watch it at work when I worked at the bike shop. There was like 3 movies we just had on repeat. That was one of them.
Okay.
That, Airheads, and Pootie Tang.
Oh, boy.
Were just on constant repeat. Also, I would watch it with my cousin regularly, and I would watch it during drives to and from Florida, to and from Pensacola to Tampa.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
So this is one of my favorite movies that is being referenced.
Perfect.
And I think that we're gonna over deliver here.
Oh, hardcore.
He asked for DC versus Marvel,
And he said 5 or 6.
5 or 6. That's not enough. There's too many. This is fucking dodgeball, bro.
You take this seriously.
So first off, you are correct in saying 6. Dodgeball generally 6 to 10.
Regulation 6 to 10. Looked it up.
All right. Also, if you're not familiar with the rules of dodgeball, is that if you just get hit, then you're out. You can deflect a ball using another dodgeball. If you catch a ball, the person who threw it is out. Okay. So what we have done is we're gonna have a
Dip, duck, dive. What's the fourth D before they repeat? Dodge. Remember the rules?
Yeah. Dip, duck, dive. No, I think they repeat the first one.
Yeah, but isn't there 5?
Dodge.
Is it 4 or 5? I thought he counted. You know what I mean?
I know. Now you broke my brain. Dip, duck, dodge, drop. No, it's 5 things.
Okay.
But dodge, I think it's dodge twice.
Right.
I think it's dip, duck, dodge, dive, dodge, or something like that.
Okay.
Like he goes back to.
And he has to say dodge again because he
dip,
doesn't have a 5th.
Duck, dive, and dodge are the 4.
Oh, but so
I don't
maybe
remember.
dodge. Yeah.
I just don't remember
Sorry,
which one
guys.
is
I
in
just
there.
threw that off immediately, but I had to know.
Oh god, I love that movie.
Rip Torn. Doing the work.
Okay. So what we've done is we're having a full-on fucking tournament.
It's huge.
We have a tournament. We have created brackets.
Huge.
It is 4 teams on side Marvel, 4 teams on side DC, who will all face one another to see who faces each other in the finals, Marvel versus DC of Dodgeball. And we are going to task you, the listeners, with deciding, of course, by either calling the hotline at 818-794-0722. And when we get to it, it might not be soon because of our schedule, but also tweet at us when this episode comes out, who you think wins, at Coy Jandro, at Jake Lloyd Bacon, or just use the hashtag CoyCast. But let's get into it. So on
The man asked for 5 to 6. We gave him 24 v 24.
So on the first round
Yep.
of side Marvel, we have Team Muties
It's a slur. Sorry about that.
versus Team Skills with a Z.
That's the 90s. Sorry about that.
Who's on Team Muties, you ask? Cyclops,
Boom.
Beast, Nightcrawler,
Bamf.
Jubilee,
Sparkle.
Toad,
Ribbit.
and Storm. And they are going up against Team Skills with a Z, Speedball, Bullseye, Spider-Man, Quicksilver, Hawkeye, and Daredevil. I mean, this is some hot first round action.
It's a very intense opener here at the Dodgeball DC versus Marvel Amalgam Games.
I mean, let's think about some pros and cons here, all right? Over on the Muties side.
They got leadership and skill and tactics with Scott.
Yes.
The man's got great aim and
Right.
has to think about the geometry of a room all the time.
Also, Beast is a physics genius.
I mean, and so acrobatic. Also,
Insanely
all four limbs
Yes.
probably good at throwing a ball.
he can catch. That was my thought. He could probably catch a ball and throw a ball with his feet as well.
Upside down, use his hands. It doesn't matter.
You got Nightcrawler, who may be impossible to catch.
Can't touch this.
There's another team later on that we almost put him on, but we decided to keep him with the Muties here.
Yep.
Just because of friendship. Jubilee, more distracting than anything.
But would also love the game the most.
Exactly. I
It's
feel
more
like
about the team spirit.
yeah, we felt like she would be the one who would be most upset that she wasn't playing dodgeball.
And also the morale boost of her glee. You look over at Jubilee having
Right.
a good time, you want to play.
Toad, again, acrobatic, also could catch things with his tongue,
Offense and defense, that tongue.
throws things with his tongue. He could also save his teammates by snapping his tongue out and catching a ball out of the air.
Deflecting. Also slimy, gross, don't want to touch it.
Luckily there's no person-on-person contact.
Sure.
with
I'm
dodgeball.
saying with the ball.
Right.
You don't want to touch it after.
So Storm is there going to be the best at the whistle at the beginning. So if you're not familiar with how it works, all the balls are in the center line, and
Yep.
both teams have to run and grab one, to retrieve their balls, and it's a really dangerous zone there because you can get picked off. That whistle blows. Storm's just going to lightly gust all the balls to her
Just a
side.
little
Yeah. So
change the game.
she's right. So there, and then on the other side of the court,
I mean, this is. I think this team's a force to be reckoned with here.
Speedball.
I mean, his name's right there.
and Quicksilver.
I mean, you got two of the best offensive and defensive players in Marvel.
How are you going to ever touch these dudes?
Spider-Man.
Bullseye, Spider-Man, one of the most acrobatic. Spider sense. He will know when the ball is coming.
And think about his clinging ability. He could grab a ball, grab another ball, pop. Like he can. All four of his limbs can
Right.
stick and also deliver.
Yeah.
Plus the spider.
You really got to aim for the torso
and that's hopeful.
or the head.
That also hopefully Spider-Man. Like you can't fight
Right.
Spider-Man. How do you dodgeball him?
Right. Bullseye's not going to miss.
Never.
Hawkeye might miss a little bit more than Bullseye because he's not used to throwing things as
Sure.
much as he is to shooting things.
But his aim.
But
immaculate.
he still understands the physics of projectiles.
Learning curve small.
Right. Daredevil,
Doesn't miss.
here's the thing that might be a problem with Daredevil
Mm.
is sensing his own teammates' balls and deflect. Like he'll be able to sense
Yep.
where they are. I'm assuming they're all wearing like sneakers, so it's a lot of squeaking on the floors.
But if you think about
Triangulation?
how, think about like Ben Affleck, he was able to see the different smells and
Right.
things. So I think he could detect and
Right.
But also you can't touch him. There's no
Right.
way anybody's going to touch Daredevil.
So, do you want to decide on who wins here, or do you want to tell people what the next matchup is?
I think we decide because otherwise
Okay.
we're just
Okay.
giving them 24 characters.
Alrighty.
In this battle, personally, I actually don't see this going the X-Men's way.
No, not
A
at
lot
all.
of times we are very pro X-Men, and
Nope.
I think we gave the best X-Men for the job. I still give it to Skills.
I think that the X-Men are very good
Yep.
at working as a team to complete specific tasks,
Right.
many of which require great feats of strength.
Very
and
good at baseball.
Psychological power.
Yep.
Dodgeball is not one of those things.
I also think their skills at baseball might throw them off here. I think they've got certain instincts they won't be able to play. If you see them in the comics, they're always playing baseball.
are, yeah, they
Very
will.
different sport, dodgeball. And Skills is a dodgeball team.
There you have it. Advancing to the semifinals, Team Skills.
There it is.
Do you want to hop over to DC
And let's
side?
do DC top bracket.
All right. Top bracket in DC, we have Team Justice
Ooh.
versus Team Baddies.
Bum, bum, bum.
On Team Justice, we have Flash. What does that say? Lobo. No, wait. No, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
It's 2 W's.
Oh.
But I wrote it really squiggly like.
I was like, how do you mix
Wonder
Lobo and
Woman.
Wonder Woman up?
Cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
Green Lantern.
Yep.
Martian Manhunter.
Mm-hmm.
And Shazam.
Childlike Wonder.
So this team is all over the place.
Very broad. A lot of stuff. Powerhouses, though.
I think Wonder Woman is going to have the hardest time here because she's so used to deflecting.
True.
She's going to have to really train herself to catch and not just put her little cuffs up and knock balls
good
around.
point. But very acrobatic.
Incredibly
Very nimble.
acrobatic. And probably the team leader, if we're going to be honest.
And probably the most competitive, we're going to be honest.
Yes, that's true. Cyborg is probably going to have a slight speed issue potentially,
also-
depending on how he's set
His
up.
instincts might like blow up some balls. I'm a little worried about him shooting some lasers.
Right. But Flash is going to be something to rep
Powerhouse.
with. Absolute powerhouse.
Green Lantern,
is going to have to take his ring off. All right,
he's just a guy.
Because what are you going to do?
Just Hal?
Or like I guess this also is like, are the refs calling this game down the middle? Is summoning a big giant I was
thinking like ping pong
net.
Like, ping, ping, ping. Like is that
right
or like a bubble?
Right, but again, if it touches him and then it falls, he's out.
You remember those things where you like catch and throw, like the Scoopy things, where you're just like,
yeah, they were like faux lacrosse plastic.
You can make you can make two of those.
Yeah, but does it qualify as touching him if it's something he's holding?
Yeah, probably.
And in which case does that
Then he's out.
How long does he have to have it in
He's
his?
got a scoop.
in
Got a
his
scoop.
racket?
Talk back just like with.
But he
catching
has to have it in a racket long enough to consider
True.
it being in possession before he then.
Well,
throws
we haven't revealed their opponents.
All right. So on the other side is DC baddies. We've got Poison Ivy, the Riddler, Lobo. There he is. Harley Quinn, Deathstroke, and just because it's too funny to not do, Darkseid.
Okay, so
also known as Darkseid.
Darkseid.
It was in the Harley Quinn show. I'm not the only one. Go fuck yourself.
I personally, I see Deathstroke being a huge asset here.
Deathstroke, I think, is probably, I think Ivy is team leader.
Yeah.
Much to the chagrin of Darkseid.
Agreed.
I think Deathstroke is the most effective.
Yep. I think Deathstroke is like your running point. I think Poison Ivy's got pheromones she can use to bewilder her opponents.
I think Harley's also surprisingly good.
Oh, I think she roller skates and she dodgeballs. I think she's those two things, like 100%.
I think Riddler's gonna surprise you.
Yeah, I think he's good at tactics.
Yes, exactly.
He thinks long game.
Riddler's gonna be doing a lot of annoying things where he's gonna be like having people stand in certain spots to like give options.
I like that.
And then when they throw it to like who has the ball behind their back, whoever you just he'll like come up with a little riddle and he'll be like whoever you
that's
throw
maddening.
it, they might you might get a smack or some shit like that.
Paul Dano doing the work. I think Darkseid would be a negative in that he's so big and bulky, but nobody's going to want to take Darkseid out.
Also, he's going to be able to use his tubes.
Yeah. I think anybody's going to kill. I think Darkseid kills the first person that takes him out, and then no one else does.
Or his team gets disqualified.
Because he just killed somebody.
And Justice just gets passed on a bye.
Who do you got on this one?
I got to be honest with you. I think Justice is a no-brainer here.
Okay.
Just because of Flash. Shazam.
Because Shazam's going to play for the marbles.
Oh, also, Shazam is constantly going to be switching in between being a kid and being
small.
full size.
Defense, small. Offense, big.
Yeah, he's going to be all over the place.
I'm going to give it to Justice.
I think Justice is going to take this
almost
victory.
Shazam and Flash alone.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a real tough one, but I think Justice is going to be there.
Justice has prevailed, everyone.
Back to our first round Marvel. By the way, what better way to be 40, right?
We're adults.
It is Team Fact and Fiction.
Love it.
Fact and fiction, predicated on people who have mystical abilities and just scientific fact abilities. Doc Ock.
Boom.
Magic. Rocket Raccoon. Don't call him a raccoon. Cloak. And co-team leaders Iron Man and Doctor Strange. I mean, this team is effective.
It's real big. A lot of powerhouses, defense and offense.
Doc Ock has
8 limbs. That's why he's an octopus.
Yeah, but he's not catching shit with his feet.
No,
he's got 6 chances to catch and throw.
Touche.
Iron Man is going to be utilizing all the tech.
Also, real competitive. That once you stop drinking.
Right, absolutely. Strange is going to be throwing portals up, and the ball is going to be constantly coming back at them without ever touching him.
Different balls, like multiverse balls. He's playing in multiple realities.
Here's the question: is that you can't get yourself out in dodgeball? I don't believe. So a ball can be deflected. If somebody throws a ball at Strange, he creates a portal, then it comes back at him, at the other person. That person, I don't think it'll count as a deflection because it never touched. It was never deflected by him.
Still good defense, though. Still good defense.
Can I say
the ref's got a large, that's a big rule book. It's a large rule book.
The referees are gonna have a nightmare here.
Also,
Rocket Raccoon, small target, and
inventive, tactical,
incredibly inventive.
Like he's already made a bunch of dodgeball guns.
Oh, he's got the amount of materials that he has designed.
Can I also just say, I think Tony Stark probably hears about this a couple months ahead and joins every dodgeball league in order to win.
He buys dodgeball leagues.
100%. He's in and out of suit great at this now.
Yeah. And that's the connection between Happy and what's his face from Dodgeball? I come up with his name right now.
Vince Vaughn.
Thank you, Vince
There
Vaughn.
it is. They were swingers, and then they were dodgeball players. Cloak is just, come on, MVP.
I mean,
what are you going to do?
Cloak's
they just run out of balls.
It's going to be really irritating.
Just the
watch.
worst.
But that's a good team. But on the other side of fact and fiction.
Yep, hard to beat.
On the other side of fact and fiction is what I'm going to go ahead and just say is the team to beat here.
Okay.
Everybody signed up and they thought that the teams were made like, oh, great, we only have 3 teams on the side. One team will get a bye. We'll randomize that. And then door flies open and in with a banner that simply says totally not fair is team totally not fair.
There they are.
Domino, Long Shot, Taskmaster.
Oh boy.
Kitty Pride.
Come on.
Spot.
Yep.
And team leader Black Cat.
So talked all about the strengths of the other team. I don't even think we need to talk about the strengths here. I think they win. I don't even think. I think
you've got Domino. You have Domino and Longshot ensuring that no matter what happens,
they have good luck.
The odds will be in their favor.
And then you've got Black Cat making sure the other team odds is not in their luck.
Yes.
You've got bad luck powers going at the other side.
Yes.
Good luck powers in your side. And then you've got Deadshot. Deathstroke.
No, wrong team. Taskmaster.
Thank you. There he is.
Taskmaster. So no matter what Doc Ock does, or Rocket or Straight. Now here's the thing: is that it's not like he can mimic mystical abilities.
No, but if he mirrors anyone's style to miss their, like he can mirror them to get out of the way.
His
like
own
he could
team,
see, or his own team, and that's everybody.
Oh man! And then Kitty Pride,
she's never.
She's gonna constantly be phasing out of the way. It's gonna be so fucking irritating.
And she could literally
She won't really be very good for deflections or quick returns. Probably not going to be catching a lot and getting other people out.
But that's what you got, the good luck power of everyone else for.
She's standing in front of somebody like Spot, who somebody throws the ball at Kitty Pride. She phases.
Yep.
He catches the ball.
Yep.
So that person is out. And then reaches through a dimensional portal to his right and knocks out another member on the other team. Team totally not fair.
I think Spot wins it by himself. Then you've got all the good luck.
Team totally not fair.
Clearly victors here.
Is moving on to face Team Skills.
There it is.
And on the other side, back to DC round 1.
Okay.
We have the Bat Fam.
Yep.
Listen, building activities within family is important.
Very important. Extracurricular is very important.
This whole thing was Nightwing's idea.
Obviously. Where do you think he got those glutes from?
He told Batgirl, and she made everybody jerseys.
In
she
a heartbeat.
So excited.
Yep.
Nightwing, Batgirl, Selena Kyle, Black Canary, Damian Wayne, and Batman.
Boom. Father-son bonding of Damian Wayne right there, built in.
Right.
But the competitive nature of Damian Wayne is going to make Bruce want to really learn and study. And he's a tactical genius.
And Bruce will get frustrated when things don't go his way.
And he's also trying to impress Black Cat.
Also, you can't wear a cape and play dodgeball.
No.
But so he's going to have to go capeless.
You got to. Yeah. But Nightwing's trying to impress Barbara. He's trying to impress Selena. Damian's just trying to win.
Right.
This is a hell of a team.
Now here's the thing is, once again, everybody agreed this was just going to be 3 teams on each side. They also thought they were going to have a bye. The Bat Fam, they were sitting pretty.
That was theirs.
But guess what?
Uh-oh. Who walks in?
Guess what happened, Coy?
What do we got?
Another team walked in.
What's the banner say?
The door to the gymnasium swings open.
There it is again.
And holding a banner that simply says, completely annoying.
Yep.
Is team completely annoying.
They know who they are.
Deadshot, Plastic Man, Mr. Miracle, Booster Gold.
There it is.
Animal Man.
Yep.
And Joker.
Okay, so this team right here. You got Animal Man distracting people, just calling all the animals.
There's constantly ferrets on the court.
Pigeons flying in.
They're constantly blowing whistles. We need to clear the court.
Just madness. Yaks walking by.
Plastic Man is
big, small, all over the place, bouncing balls.
Well, he's also just spreading himself out and just catching everything inside of his own thing.
Yep.
And then just whoop.
Yep, like a giant volleyball net.
He said he literally turns himself into a giant volleyball net.
Joker's poisoning everybody.
Mr. Miracle is finding himself out of many tricky situations.
The man can escape anything.
And Joker is just being
just the
absolutely the worst.
And he sees the Bat family and he's like, well, I'm going to kill at least one of those Robins. So frankly,
at the end of the day,
frankly, it's personal.
He's like, one of these dodgeballs has a bomb in it. Yeah.
And you hope for the best. And you just hope for the best.
Yeah. I think Bat Fam cannot pull it together.
Well, I think they play by the rules, and no one in the other team does.
Yep.
So-
And I think completely annoying.
Takes them out.
Takes them out and advances to the semifinals.
The nobility of the Bat family is their undoing.
Over on the Marvel side, it's the semifinals. The lights are dim.
All right.
We need to find out who is going to represent Marvel in the finals
It's
of
getting real.
MVDDB.
Rolls are off the tongue.
Team Skills
Yep.
versus Team Totally Not Fair. Speedball, Bullseye, Spidey, Quicksilver, Hawkeye, and Daredevil line up on one side. Domino, Taskmaster, Longshot, Black Cat, Spot, and Kitty Pryde on the other.
Now, I feel like Skills played a great game. They did what they could. But at the end of the day.
So here's the thing, is because of the bad luck being put on Team Skills, Daredevil had that head cold that we talked about earlier.
Broke him up. Can't even see.
He's got an inner ear infection.
He's just not sensing anything.
He is all over the place.
Peter doesn't want to go at Black Cat at all.
Of course
he's
not.
infatuated,
Of
and
course
he's just
not.
like throwing the game.
Taskmaster is mimicking everything Bullseye does,
But
and
he
he
can't
can't hit
do it.
himself.
Oh, I like
Right?
that. Yep.
Because it's just this constant back and forth.
Yep.
Spider-Man is doing the best he can. As you
doing what
said,
he
it's
can.
tough. Speedball and Quicksilver are running around like crazy, but they're constantly tripping on each other
Because of the bad luck.
Because of all the bad
And then
luck.
all the good luck from the side they have with Deadshot.
Also, Spot is constantly like throwing little dots on the ground, and the
they're
speed
just
people are
falling
just
through
running
them.
into each other.
And they're doing laps. They're just falling through.
The amount of times that they've clicked each other's heads, just bashed each other.
It's the scene in where Loki's just falling forever, but look at portals with the speedsters.
Yep.
Eventually they get tired.
And Team Totally Not Fair advances to the finals.
Accurately named, folks. Here we are in the finals. Team Totally Not Fair.
On the other side, back to DC. It's the semifinals. Team Justice versus Team Completely Annoying.
Now this is
Flash, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Shazam are on one side of the court, and on the other side are Deadshot, Plastic Man, Mr. Miracle, Booster Gold, Animal Man, and Joker.
Now, I think this is a tale as old as time here, because before we had the nobility of the Bat family being their, rise and fall. But here, I think it's sheer a numbers game where these players are all very powerful, but I think they rely too much on their strength, and the wiles of the chaotic team is just going to take them out. Because the wiles of this team, as much as Billy Batson changes size, as much as he's able to do there, eventually he does get poisoned by the Joker. And eventually Harley Quinn is able to take out Wonder Woman. And frankly, I don't know what Cyborg can do to keep up with any of this. So I'm going to give it to the nefarious ones.
I think this is also an instance where the what was I going to call them? The people the showed up, people who just showed up, the outsiders, the wild cards.
And they had a name for him. It was a great name.
Are just going to take it.
It's they're done. I think it literally is a matter of you wear them out, and there's no way that team keeps up.
And the entire time, Justice is just thinking like, why didn't we ask Superman to be here
at any point? Man.
So there you have it, kids. In the finals for, as Jacob put it, end of the world. Marvel versus DC dodgeball. It's Team Marvel, totally not fair. Team DC, completely annoying. On one side of the court, we've got Domino, Taskmaster, Longshot, Black Cat, Spot, and Kitty Pryde. On the other side, representing Detective Comics, Deadshot, Plastic Man, Mr. Miracle, Booster Gold, Animal Man, and Joker. You decide.
You tell us who wins the battle of DC.
I feel like the guy at the end of those epic rap battles. Like,
you decide.
Who won? You decide. That was such a fun one, Coy. And I gotta say, if I had to pick, this was fun because it wasn't me versus you.
Yeah.
Right? We decided to just play this fair and just sort of book this through. I think Marvel, and this isn't because I'm just a Marvel show. I think Marvel has it for that final just because of all the luck involved.
I do think it's a luck-heavy team in dodgeball. I know there's skill, but there's also luck. And as far as the dodge, duck, ship, dive, and dodge of it all, I also give it to Marvel. So the 5 Ds of dodgeball are at play.
There was there's definitely some cheaters in there, and I think those team names were very appropriate.
Oh my God. That was a fun one, man. I definitely...
Yeah, there you have it. My absolute favorite Hotline game of the year for 2023. I really hope you guys can come up with some fun stuff in the future. Also, in another call to action. This is all call to actions this episode. In 2024, Let's revisit some. It's been some years since we've done some of these.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's do another version and remind us what characters we chose so we can't pick them again.
Yeah, because
We
we
can
won't
omit characters.
know.
So if you had a game that you thought was fun or something like that, let's I think we should revisit some of these for some round 2s. It's been a couple years now. We could do some round 2s.
Yeah, that was, 2023 was definitely, I think I wouldn't have expected to be as tumultuous compared to 2020. Like, I mean, we kind of came out of one version of insanity to another one and then a strike. And then obviously like this show in particular, like I was thinking when you said May, how different life is from May. And like
weird.
that was,
it's real
that
weird.
was 7 months ago and it feels like 7 years ago.
If you told me in May that we would be doing this bi-coastally and I would be in New York at the moment, I'd kick you in the nuts and say, how dare you put that evil on me?
And yet here we are.
And yet here we
Here
are.
we are.
Look at us.
It's been
Look
a
at us.
crazy
Who'd
year,
have
man. Look at
thought?
us. Who'd have thought? Not me. I'm very stoked with how the show's gone. I'm very happy with the evolution, the continued evolution. Love the new art. Love the community we've built. And speaking of that community, you guys are how this is possible. Obviously, this is quite a chunk of hours, and it does mean turning down other stuff. And the way that's able to happen is the Patreon. So thank you all so much for supplying the granola bars and coffee that are required to fuel this very, very marathon-y glory.
But it's to be even more specific, like your money pays for hosting, it pays for the ability to make merchandise to sell, it pays for the time that it takes in post-production and pre-production and prep. It's no small feat to make this work in a way that is efficient and not like every other crappy just two nerds doing a podcast that no one cares about.
We can totally send voice memos to each other, Jake. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, listen, so this is very much a job for the both of us that we make very less than minimum wage on, and we're happy to. We'd love to step it up even further.
I'd love organic coffee, but maybe one day, But yeah, that said, thank you all so much, especially everybody with the Patreon. As of this recording, we have 172 episodes of us diving into some art, discussing the art we've enjoyed, or disenjoyed. A word I invented a few episodes ago. You'll see. Tune in to find out disenjoyed's origins. But a lot of Christmas stuff around this time of the year. I know. As of this recording, it's either about to be or we just did a Lethal Weapon-centric episode. So I have watched Lethal Weapon, probably the first one I probably watched more than any other film in history. I've probably seen Lethal Weapon upwards of 20 times. So I'm really excited to talk about that.
As of actual real-world recording time, listeners, we haven't had that conversation yet, like in our timeline. I'm going to blow Koi's mind, I think, when it comes to the Lethal Weapon conversation. I'm so excited to share my journey. Because you said the first movie you think you've seen more than any movie.
I think it's probably, I'd say Lethal Weapon, A Knight's Tale, Dark Knight, and Fight Club. Maybe Lost Boys, because some holiday movies obviously get more rewatches. Yeah. But those 5 are probably in my top 10 rewatches of all time. But I think Lethal Weapon might be top 3.
I cannot wait to blow your mind. So yeah, if you want to hear that, you got to become a patron.
It's very seasonally appropriate, and I'm very excited to dive into it. So all you patrons, thank you, lovelies. All you listeners, you're amazing. Love this community. I hope your holiday was absolutely spectacular. But before we leave, let's announce who stumped that chump.
Last week, a bunch of you wrote in and attempted to stump the MCU Chump. We're entered into this random giveaway. The winner of this will get an item of their choosing from the shop. That includes the brand new hoodies. If you haven't checked them out, please head over to dragonwagonshop.com. Snag yourself a sweet Koicast hoodie. There's also
they're very soft.
Shirts,
I don't own one,
mugs,
but I hugged
nice.
Robin West Parker, and that was soft.
They're really nice, high quality. We've got hoodies, we've got mugs. There's really awesome phone cases that I love very much. Tons of good designs that are both show specific as well as just pop culture and nerdy. Really good stuff over there at the shop. Without further ado, do you want to see who is the victor of Stump the MCU Chump?
With the caveat that no one completely stumped me for my pride? Yes, I do.
Yes. Nobody went 3 for 3, but some people at least got 1. And the winner is Ben Ben Detrixhe, the victor. Keep your eye on your email. We will respond to the email you had sent in for the questions on how to claim your prize.
Anyone with an X in their name, I just
Listen.
gotta give some love to an X being in a name. That's always exciting.
And it's I'm assuming this is French, right?
Yeah,
Ben
it ties into the
Detrixhe.
Coy Jandro of it all.
Yeah, very. I got a little French in me. I'm very Italian.
Yeah,
but
Jake
there's a little-
Lloyd Bacon's got some French in there.
There's
They
a
love
little,
bacon.
well, no, that name is not biological in any capacity. It's a completely adopted family name. But in the blood on the other side, we got some French.
There's some French. So we're just giving back to our little
Plus-
we both little French accents.
Plus, that was one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games was the French Revolution one. And
Oh,
Napoleon,
totally.
And Napoleon, it was great.
Ben Detrixhe, congratulations. Let us know what you want to rock. And please, 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 anyone that won anything in our big season of giving, send us a photo. Send it on Discord. Send it on social media. Tag us. I want to share it. If you don't want your face shown, blur your face out because I'm going to share it.
Or
I'm not going to ask for an NDA.
Put like an emoji face on it.
Yeah, and please, if you want to share your face, please do. I'm just saying, if you don't want to, it's too late once you sent it. I'm sharing it. So you got no option for me to be like, oh, no, it's already shared. You got to, I've learned with my girlfriend, I have to ask to share every photo because I'm like, snap, post, and that is not how everyone lives.
I learned that lesson a long time ago.
Yeah, well, you've been in
got
a
reamed.
healthy, mature relationship for a lot longer than I'm used to being in it. So
got reamed for, why the fuck did you post that shit?
yeah, it's an ass to post and an ass to tag. They're separate
I thought you were cute.
requirements.
And I will say I used to go the other way, and then I got fat, and then I'm like, oh. And I'm like,
I'm
oh,
gonna find my angles.
It's like, why'd you post that? Look at my boobs. I don't like it. I don't like
now
my
you
little...
understand the
Yeah, I
plight.
get it. I'm starting to get it. Anyways, listen, we're not that shallow. We're only a little bit shallow because getting old is hard. Unless you're a podcast, which getting old is aging just like a fine wine. You guys are such an awesome community. We hope you had a fantastic 2023 with us. We had a fantastic 2023 with you. Please continue to rate and review the show over on Apple Podcasts. Leave a rating for it on Spotify. We will try to answer you or respond to your Q&As if you are leaving them on episodes on Spotify. What else? At Jake Lloyd Bacon, at Coy Jandro on all the social media, at It's Dragon Wagon. If you want to follow Dragon Wagon as a network, you can see all of the new episode arts that get posted there. Patreon, patreon.com/Coycast. By the way, you can get all of this stuff just at Coycast.com. Coycast.com.
Yeah, it's all listed right there. As is the phone number to call in, which I want to make sure you guys know is 818-794-0722. If you want to leave questions, if you want to leave games, if you want to leave comments, that is how to reach us in this year and beyond.
Put it in your phone. Save it in your phone. And put a little artwork. Put the little Coycast artwork so you know what it
Put our
is.
little faces in there.
Yeah,
You're like,
little
boom,
faces.
call that right there. I work for a number of internet companies, and I always save the scheduling person as the logo, and I am 10 out of 10 times alarmed when that logo calls me. So you too can have a weird little why do I have a
and we'll
business
never
right
call
here?
it. We'll never call you back.
We don't have that outgoing. I'm sorry. That's just, but it's always alarming when I'm like, why is this symbol calling me? And Coycast is also Coycast is contact@coycast.com. If you're in another country, if you want to send anything else, that's how you can reach us. But for this year, for 2023, for myself, for the great Jake Lloyd Bacon, what a year. Guys, we did it. We survived. 2024 looks bright and cheery, and we're going to be back with our letterbox stats that I am overjoyed to get into because we recorded this earlier in December, and I'm a sucker for a year-end list, and I went through last night, and I looked at what I had left to see, and boy, oh boy, are those stats about to change in December. I'm going to be doing the fucking Clockwork Orange eye thing soon to catch up on shit.
I also just want to say to that one person who reviewed us on Apple Podcasts and said, this show's great, but skip those letterbox episodes because these guys are insufferable and awful. I just want to say to that person, we'll see you at the end of January.
Yep, we'll see you in February. You might as well just round up because the next step we'll probably still be talking about it because we fucking love them. And that's why the show's for us as much as it is for you, because even if 6 people listen, we're 2 of them.
Also, listen, they're not a sponsor. I wish they were. I wish they gave us a couple bucks. I'll take like $20 an episode from
We
Letterboxd.
give them a lot of love.
Just to say, hey, go become a Letterboxd patron or a pro account and see your stats. I like it when people compare their stats. If you remember this past year when we did our lifetime stats, which we always do in June, I went back and I went, hey, let's do I made a big spreadsheet. You
Yeah.
know, Daddy loves a spreadsheet.
Oh, man, loves his numbers.
I'm gonna
Also,
have to go
you know
back.
who reached out to me this very week as of recording about my Letterboxd and followed me, and now we're Letterboxd friends and share stuff? The great fucking Joe Kelly.
Oh, really? That's fun.
My favorite Deadpool writer. Sorry, Rob. Joe Kelly followed me on Letterboxd, and I've never felt like that social media was more important than I was like, wait, the guy who inspired my love of this character to go to an 11 is like, wonder what Coy likes about movies, and I was like, I feel powerful.
Love that.
So Letterboxd is I don't know. There's something more personal about following someone on Letterboxd than like Twitter. Like I was like, ooh.
Also, I want to say for the people, because this is the one instance, Coy, where you have failed in being a social media person. On Letterboxd, I think you're Coy _ John Dro, not at Coy John Dro.
Yes.
So if you're looking for us on Letterboxd, I'm still at Jake Lloyd Bacon because I did that shit right. But Coy at Coy _ John Dro only on Letterboxd.
It was a foolish error, and
Everywhere else,
4,000 reviews.
You might be able to still change it.
Yeah, I should check. Maybe when I'll just become a Patreon level member to be like, hey, I'm paying you more. Yeah, help me out.
Maybe you might not be able to, but maybe you can. I don't know. Anyways,
but yeah, much
any
love.
other business? Anything else we got to do? I think we did everything. Did we check it all off?
I think that's 2023, man.
Let me look at my list. Hey, special shout out here to Jared and Jacob for those 2 fantastic Hotline games in 2023. Thank you for those, helping us make this end of year break of ours manageable. Yeah, everybody who called the hotline. I'm looking through all my checklist here. I think we did all the things. We got
every
everything.
Koicast shirt I saw in 2023. Everyone that at a con surprised the fuck out of me by being like, "Oh, I know you from Koicast," and me being like, "Oh, people listen to that? Thank you." Because you never know what's on the other side of the dark void that is the internet. And everyone that is not just following me because I verbally punch people on Twitter, you mean the world. I had my first I love your Twitter in public the other day, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, because that is just a place of rage. So I love that this is a place of joy, and that keeps me afoot. So thank you, lovelies. Thank you for a wonderful 2023. Thank you for listening, and thank you, as always, to comic books and fucking movies, film, theater, poems, the written word, and just anything you think is art for existing. Much love. We'll see you next year.
Dragon Wagon.